Hello guys, welcome back to another video. I have to record this on my editing app simply because while watching it, like last time it didn't sound like it was it didn't sound like you could hear me very well. So I downloaded the video to transport my editing app and then re-uploaded it, so if it's a bit like blurry around the edges, forgive me there, but this is probably the best way that you can be able to hear me while watching it, so you can hear my actual thoughts during while I'm watching it, and not while, because when I pause it I talk, which I will still do, but it just, anyway. We got Zoro vs Erza here. This was released 8 years ago, but I'm obviously just catching up on a bunch of death battles, and I thought this will be fun. So yes, let's get into it. Also, there's other One Piece death battles that'll be fun, and as of right now, I ain't really watching too much One Piece stuff, so hopefully this gives me a good time to get back into One Piece, the anime, and catch up during that stuff, because honestly I would love to catch up. Yeah, okay, gonna continue. Erza vs Zoro. I feel like Zoro should definitely win this. I don't know how Erza could win. I have watched Fairy Tail and I've watched One Piece. In my opinion, Zoro is 100 times better than Erza, but that may be because of bias, as watching One Piece first and watching Fairy Tail after. But I honestly don't remember her being somewhat that powerful that she can beat Zoro. Maybe I'm wrong. What was it? I will try something a bit more just because. That should be fun.
Past, present, or future, one kind of fighter has stood the test of time: the swordsman.
And today's combatants are two of the most skilled warriors to ever wield a blade.
Roronoa Zoro, the feared swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirate.
Tell me, Zoro just doesn't look cool, so I honestly forgot who that is in the background. He's fine.
And Erza Scarlet, the battle mage of the Fairy Tail Guild.
With his cool fights,
and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Death battle. Is that coming out of stealth than old school game?
As a child, Roronoa Zoro dreamed of becoming the greatest
swordsman.
Yeah,
honestly, his backstory is pretty nice.
I feel like everyone at the
backstory.
showed up, challenged everyone,
Straw Hat's backstories are really
Zoro's
good.
dojo training
well, at least
his
motivation
with a sword, but there was one person he could never quite manage to beat. His sensei's daughter.
His daughter.
They dueled a lot, and Kuina won every single matchup. All 2000.
I believe her, from what I remember, her whole character thing was literally just saying, "Oh, people don't respect me because I'm a woman and all that," or something like that.
Damn,
maybe wrong.
I could be. At least one in.
Despite the constant defeat,
I think she said to Zoro that she can never become the head because she's a girl.
One of them would.
Let's make a promise. One of us must become #1 swordsman of the world. Let's see who can reach that goal first.
World's best swordsman.
I believe it was that scene.
And then she fell down some stairs and.
I actually can't remember how she died. Did she die by falling downstairs? I can't remember.
Which just seems like an
Humans are
unacceptable
really
way for a master
beings,
swordsman to bite the dust.
Does thin out the competition for world's best swordsman, though.
True.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I became the world's best shotgun woodcarver.
After Kuina's death, Zoro inherited her sword and used it to hone his skills.
Full name, Zoro, height, yeah. Age 21, birthday November 11th. Bounty, 3, is this the bounty overall? 3, I can't read that one. I think it's 320 million, I think. Occupation, bounty hunter. Former occupation bounty hunter, member of the Straw Hat Pirates, trained under Mihawk. Awful sense of direction. Yeah, Zoro's sense of direction
eventually
goes way
leaving the
beyond
dojo in search of
anything.
the current title holder of world's greatest swordsman, Dracule Mihawk.
But he immediately got himself
This
lost.
was made 8 years ago, by the way, keep in mind.
And wandered around the
Just so
ocean
you know,
until he ran
just so you
into
guys
a
know
weird,
it was made 8 years ago, so of course Zoro's current stuff isn't up to status here.
Straw Hat Pirates.
Actually worked out pretty well, since Luffy was already looking to hire him anyway. Turns out, Zoro has quite a reputation.
At this point, he was already a master swordsman, and after finding and training under Mihawk, his swordsmanship became legendary.
He created his own fighting style, Santoryu, also called three-sword style, because he uses 3 swords, one in each hand and one in his freaking mouth.
That doesn't
looks
seem
so
very
cool.
safe.
Oh, shut up, Wiz. Badasses don't care about safety.
Regardless, with the 3-sword style, Zoro can perform several unique attacks, including
3-sword style, Unigo, Tetsu. I can't read these attacks. 100 pound cannon, 1,000 pound cannon. Hybrid 9-sword
the
style.
onigiri, where he strikes
He's
with all
not so
3
tough.
blades at once.
Sick.
Or the Tatsumaki, where he makes a tornado dragon.
By swinging his swords a certain way, he can fire compressed air projectiles toward an opponent, like with his deadliest technique, the 1080-pound cannon. And last but not least,
I swear,
he
they do
knows
some
the
BS
Kitoryu
and say that
9-sword
Zoro's
style.
sense of
Wait,
directions
did he just grow 4 more arms and 2 more heads? How the hell did he do that?
It's just an illusion, but it still somehow has physical presence.
He's like a human slapchop with a total of 9 swords.
That's one way to put it. In addition to his skills with a blade, Zoro is able to use haki, a mysterious power that every living being possesses, but only a select few
Honestly,
have learned how to use.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure we saw people using hockey
Neapolitan ice
before
cream
we
comes
actually
in
got
3
like the
flavors,
hockey,
and
like
Zoro
was
only has
transporting
access
it.
to chocolate
But,
and vanilla.
Yeah, but like because they
What?
couldn't.
I don't even. Well, one of
It was
those
just like you need
flavors
to
is
interfere for them with a
observation
crocodile
hockey,
arc where the
That's
hockey
vanilla.
would have been super
Of course.
needed.
which
But,
in some
they
ways is
didn't know how
similar
to
to
use it back
Spider-Man's
then.
Spidey sense. Zoro can sense the location of other people, even if they're invisible or far away, and can also predict most opponents' attacks.
Then chocolate, everyone's favorite hockey flavor, is armament hockey. This lets him form an invisible armor around himself as protection, or harden his swords to make his strikes cut through almost anything.
Yeah.
With both hockey, Zoro has been a real asset to the Straw Hat Pirates. They've traveled the world and had a lot of weird
That
adventures.
giraffe guy.
Like that time Zoro fought a literal living mountain man named Pika and sliced him clean in half.
I said
A
Pika's
strike
a
so
fun
powerful
enemy
it
to fight.
didn't
Like
just
normally I
cut through
hate bad
Pika,
guys.
it
Like
sent
someone's
his
gonna be
top
super
half
annoying.
flying upward.
Like, I remember
Considering
laughing at him quite
Pika's
a lot.
enormous size and approximate mass, this strike had to have been more powerful than the first ever deployed hydrogen bomb, the 11 megaton Castle Romeo.
Also, Zoro's pretty damn fast. One time he moved so quickly he seemed invisible to a room full of highly trained assassins. And when the odds are against him, he'll keep pushing himself, even past the point of bleeding out.
Thus, he's powered through some incredibly intense
This scene, by the way, not this, but like where he like realizes how much pain Luffy's gone through. It's like one of the best scenes in One Piece in my
Holy
opinion.
shit!
Like that
How
scene
the
right
hell
now.
is he still standing after that?
That's a good
It's
question.
even more
After a battle with
insane in the
Kuma, a
comic- in
bear
the
man,
manga.
because this is One Piece, Zoro took on not only his own pain from near death, but also Luffy's, despite being told that doing so would surely kill him. But it just didn't.
And he doesn't even brag about it. What a badass.
Zoro is definitely the stoic badass type, but he can't do everything. He's a sword fighter above all, and prefers to fight up close and personal.
He also has the world's shittiest sense of direction. He gets lost without someone there literally reading the map for him, and could never survive on his own without his friends.
You might think Zoro would be more of a lone wolf type of guy, but no. Much like how Kuina's death spurred him on to become a great swordsman, it's his friends who keep him fighting.
I set
Yeah,
sail
yeah.
for only one reason, to meet you,
And what is your goal?
to beat you.
Death Bell. Okay.
Erza Scarlet grew up
How
in a
the
small
heck are you telling me
rural
Erza's
town
gonna like
called
fight
Rosemary
against
Village.
Zoro?
It was pretty picturesque as far as childhoods go.
Hold on, Wiz, I'm getting a premonition.
Well, I've
Despite
watched Fairy Tail.
everything seeming perfect,
It has been a while since I've seen Fairy Tail, but at the same time, I can't remember Erza
happened.
being
A murderous
super
cult
insanely
attacked,
powerful.
destroyed the city, and enslaved the children to build a tower to resurrect their evil overlord.
There
Again,
it
it
is.
could just be like
Young
the
Erza
enemies
was
are just
tortured,
equal
and while
to
she may
that,
have
but
lost an eye in the process,
equal
she
to
also gained a
sounds mean.
friend, Jalal Fernandez. He actually gave Erza her last name, Scarlet, after her red hair.
She and her buddies swore they'd escape, so Erza ended up staging a revolt and saved the other slaves thanks to discovering her latent magical powers.
Unfortunately, not everyone made it out.
Turns out Jalal got possessed by some spirit that made him a huge dick, and she had to go without him.
Fine, if you want to
Well,
leave so badly, then I'm not going to stop you. But you'll have to go alone.
After that nightmare, Erza swore to dedicate her life to helping and protecting the innocent, and so joined the Fairy Tale Magicians Guild. Luckily for them,
yeah,
she
joined the
possessed a
most
great skill
raucous
set for a
guild ever.
mage.
Her main thing is
I will say the best thing I like about Fairy Tale is the guild. Like, honestly, it feels so nice. Just like the whole family vibe in the guild. That's like the main bit I like about Fairy Tale.
whip magic, which is basically like having an
cool,
armory
but-
with you at all times, without having to lug it around.
Re-equip magic allows Erza to summon her vast array of weapons and armor at will, meaning she can use multiple combinations of swords, lances, and outfits all in one fight without ever really slowing down.
Damn,
Damn, that'd be useful for all my weapons.
Wake up,
How
pain
many is she
again.
packing?
She's rumored to have access to
Oh,
as many
stop.
as 100 sets of armor and 200 weapons.
Nice! As far as armor goes, her go-to is the standard Heart Cruise set. But there's
I will
also
say there are certain characters in like Fairy Tale that like are insanely overpowered. Well, in that world building area, because like there's this one person, for his name off, I don't know his name off my heart, but he basically walks into the area city, and they have the whole
also the
dedication of
Heaven's
putting
Wheel
like
armor,
walls.
where she can send
Glo-
swords
it's like
flying at
Gildor,
people.
I think.
The
Gildor,
spiky
yeah.
defensive adamant armor, and the Black Wing and Flame Empress armors, which have wings
slipped.
for flying.
Don't forget her giant armor, which she uses with a lance, purgatory armor, which has a lot of spikes, and seduction armor? I'm not really sure what purpose this serves.
Probably to make enemies terribly aroused. Ever tried to fight
I
with an
can't
erection
remember
whiz? Believe me, it's not easy.
Right. Well, Erza claims her most powerful armor is the Armadura Fairy Armor, which is very pink.
These are fancy and all, but sometimes she doesn't even bother
She's
shooting up.
literally
If her
like
back's
a
against the
flame.
wall, Erza equips her Clear Heart clothing. This enhances her speed and attack over defense, and channels all her magical energy into her katanas for a decisive blow.
She can charge magic through her swords to perform all sorts of magical attacks, even mixing and matching weapons and armors to better her chances in a fight.
She's also just really good at sword fighting. Actually, she's really good with a lot of weapons, including hand-to-hand.
All of this makes Erza an excellent addition to the
It's like,
Fairy
I don't know,
Tale
a lot of
Guild.
these other models.
She
When I
quickly
was watching
became
Fairy
one of its
Tail
highest-ranking
Academy,
mages
when
and was the
main
youngest
character
member
was on
to ever
screen,
pass
not
the
two.
S-Class Mage.
Pierce, a giant flowing cube, survived the Jupiter cannon shot, can deflect bullets, foot 100 monsters at once, slice through an airship, slice through Hades, magic chains, okay, I think I remember that, obliterated a whole island, youngest guild member to pass the S-Class Mage promotion test.
Test. An incredibly difficult gauntlet only the strongest and wisest of warriors can even attempt.
Speaking of achievements, she's pretty friggin' strong. Don't believe me? Well, here she is, lancing a hole through a giant floating cube.
This cube was about 100 million cubic miles in volume. To punch through
Also, I
it,
would say
Erza's
Fairy
lance
Tail
must
now
have dealt
has,
about
like, a
16
new kind of
kilotons
series
of
that goes
force.
on.
Erza's
I actually
also
haven't
fast
watched that. I
enough to
do have the
deflect
long
bullets
one, but I
point
haven't watched
blank
the
from a
anime.
flintlock pistol. Guns with a muzzle velocity of about 540 miles per hour. And that's without a speed boost from her armor.
Right, many of her armor sets grant her stat boosts, increasing her speed, magic, defense, etc. She's survived plenty of destructive blasts, including one that blew up an island. Considering that island's size, that's an explosion equivalent.
She blew up that island. Floating island in the sky. How long did she blow it up? What? I think she blew that up? Do you mean something else blew that up?
Blasts, including one that blew up an island. Considering that island's size, that's an explosion equivalent to 2 kilotons of TNT.
So she's sexy, can survive island-busting attacks, and has a shit ton of weapons? She's basically perfect. Just wish she used a gun or two.
Well, she may have a vast armory, but swapping them in and out requires magic, and she can run her supply down if she's not careful.
So it's just like a mana bar in those fantasy games you always
Yeah,
play.
okay, I do remember
Exactly.
that. Like, thing.
Though
Oh,
even when
Chester
she's out of
Stories,
magic,
There's
she's
a little
still
magic
quite
in Fairy
deadly in
Tail.
hand-to-hand.
Jesus Christ.
Like when she fought her alternate self from another parallel universe.
That universe has a lot less clothing. Sign me up!
But when you're among the best in the guild, you get the
With
job
the Bell
done, no
Universe, I
matter
think,
the limits.
I think Fairy
I
Tail
will
does
withstand
Parallel
any
Universe
physical
pretty
pain.
good, to be fair.
To protect the ones that I love.
All right. Combatant Zoro.
Okay, I think Zoro. I'm gonna bet on Zoro. Zoro 100%. I don't see how he loses. But how does the fight start?
Set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle!
Death battle! Ah, is he lost?
Oh, sorry, lady. Could you point me in the way of the shipyard? I've been looking around for hours.
Aha! You're the one I'm looking for. Come peacefully and you won't be harmed.
Sorry, I'm busy. Maybe later.
Then we'll have to do this the hard way.
I told you I'm busy! Fine! Well, I guess we're doing this now. Whoa! What?
You're coming with me!
Neat trick. Why laughing at this?
Yeah, go on. Let's talk about. Sure, I better than you. Oh, yeah, arm change. Sick.
You are strong, pirate! But this is true!
Doesn't he use bounty? It says pirate hunter. Okay. It also feels. Actually, I don't think Zoro will have started the fight. So I guess it makes sense that Erza starts it. She has anger issues, I think, right? It makes sense that Erza started instead of Zoro, to be fair. But I believe Zoro is more responsible than to just start fighting. From what I remember. It's been a while.
Fool.
You're not telling
Nothing
me
is
Zoro
worse
loses.
than the loss of life.
Don't start crying, woman.
Yeah.
What?
So much for all that true strength bullshit, huh?
No. I can do this! I will claim this bounty for my guild! For my strength! For my friends!
Bring it on!
A nice one style.
You're not the only one who fights for their friends!
Actually, Zoro fights for Extreme, which in turn fights for his friends. His captain. Oh, dead. She got a heal from that, right? Oh my. What the? This looks so weird in this animation.
Now, where the hell is that shipyard?
Okay,
Jesus! Talk about a killing blow!
In the past, Erza could react to projectiles flying over 500 miles per hour, but Zoro could move faster than the eye could see. US Air Force tests have shown that a well-trained human eye can consistently spot and recognize an image in 1/220th of a second. So, in this case, Zoro would have had to move from point A to point B, which is about 57 feet, in 4.5 milliseconds.
that scene, by the way, like,
Case Zoro would have had to move.
I believe it's when the hunters tried to kill Roronoa Zoro on that island, I believe. And I think it's here that is revealed that Crocodile tried to hire Zoro
Which is about
once,
57 feet
which they
in
obviously lead
4.5
on
milliseconds.
in live.
That's close to 9,000 miles per hour.
That's more than
live
5
action
times faster
One
than a
Piece.
bullet. Erza didn't really rely on speed anyway, and there's no evidence any of her armor magic could have helped close that wide of a gap.
Speaking of her armor, Erza did have more options in defense and weaponry. Unfortunately for her, she was simply outclassed in damage dealt.
Erza could withstand hits of about 2 kilotons,
I
like the
couldn't
blast
see
which
Erza
destroyed
winning
that
that
island.
one. That's
But
just the
Zoro
thing.
has dished out much stronger blows than that.
Slicing Pika in half, for example, was equivalent to
I think they couldn't
11.5
find an enormous
megatons.
swordsman to
That's
like,
about
you know,
6,000 times
Zoro.
bigger than anything Erza has survived.
Video,
And while Erza's artificial eye may have seen through Zoro's nine-sword style illusion, it couldn't prevent him from actually attacking her.
She also had that habit of stripping down to clear hard clothing in a bind. Yeah, it gave her more sword power, but at the cost of less defense. This sounded like a good idea on paper, but close-range combat was Zoro's bread and butter.
Erza was mostly self-taught, and while proficient with a blade, Zoro has trained with swords all his life.
Just look at that flying scene.
And while proficient with a blade, Zoro has trained with swords all his life, even with the greatest swordsman in the world. An up-close duel was exactly what he was looking for.
Guess she won't be getting a fairy tale ending.
The winner is Roronoa Zoro.
Next time, what do we do next time? Deadpool.
Chimichangas! Let's go give it to you. We gon' give it to you.
Winner. Okay. Honestly, the Death Battle was really good. I didn't see Erza winning, but Erza was still pretty strong alone, right? I guess it's just like I didn't see it. Zoro and Luffy are basically even in power, I would say. Like now Luffy has obviously Gear 5, but like Zoro's being someone with a sword so I can actually harm the rower. Makes sense. Before Gear 5 they were definitely evenly balanced, but now I feel like Luffy's just a bit more stronger than Zoro. I don't know how much, to be fair. But honestly speaking, this was also made 8 years ago, by the way. Like Zoro today would easily kill Erza without even a thingy. Maybe Erza's got stronger, I have no idea. But honestly speaking, I enjoyed this reaction. I enjoyed the video. So without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, do all the good stuff if you want more Death Battle videos. But like, come on, this the way she dies looks so gruesome here. Like, look at this. Oh, look at that. It's always like,
Wow. Where the hell is that shipyard?
she's just dead on the ground with her legs just fluffing. Still blood coming out. Okay, so without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, do all that great stuff. Have a good day. Yeah, I'll just be looking through the death battles, and if I find any interesting death battles, I'll do a video on them, no matter how long they've been. Also, like I said, this is a bit out of date because Zoro is way more powerful than this nowadays. This was 8 years ago, remember? But yeah, either way, Death Battle was fun to watch, and yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.